Well, I was born and raised in Honolulu. Attended St. Augustine School in Waikiki. And then when I was in the 6th grade, my dad sent myself, my brother and I to Kauai to live with an uncle, because we were getting kind of rowdy at that time, and my mother passed away. So we went to Kauai and stayed there until I graduated from high school, graduated from Kapa'a High School. Then I came to Honolulu, attended BYU Hawaii, and from that, 3 years, and then I got called in the Army Reserves, Vietnam, so I'm a veteran. I was a platoon, I was a infantry sergeant in Vietnam. So, and then I came back, finished my last year of college, and when I was finishing up, I was working at a gas station at night in Waikiki, Texaco, and I was going to school during the day. And firemen from our Army Reserves time, where they used to come by at night, talk story, you know. They said, hey, we just got called to the fire department. Why don't you come to the fire department? I said, well, I don't want to be a fireman. He said, no, you're not. You got to take the test first. So then I said, I thought about it. I said, okay, the test was like a month away. So we signed up, did everything, took the test, I scored good, and graduated from college. 15 days later, I was a firefighter. And it was, I had an offer from the bank, management trainee, $400 a month. Fireman was $648 a month, so I went with the bucks. I don't know if that's a mistake or not, but that's what happened, you know. So, and it's a good career, you know, very exciting. Coming up in the ranks, I think Captain Elmer Akawa was one of my big mentors. I was at the ladder 4, and engine and ladder on both. He was the ladder 4 captain, very conscientious, taught us a lot. So we, you know, in the beginning, you got to do all the rotating. You know, you go out and you fill the stations, right? The new guys. So I think Clinton Wang and myself, we said, hey, how come we got to keep going out all the time? And we're going all over, you know, filling in. And he said, well, you don't want to fill in, then you guys study and get promoted. So from him, we started studying, and then he just moved up the line from there. But yeah, that was the big reason to get promoted, quit going around relieving at the different stations. And then as a chief officer, Sidney Wilson, Assistant Chief Sidney Wilson. When I went into the intern program, a battalion chief intern program, he kind of took us under his wing and took us all over, taught us all the ins and outs. Him and a couple other guys, but he was like the key guy. Very, he had all the ideas, but he needed people to do the work. So we were the gophers doing all the writing and all of this, and it worked out well for us. Yeah, you know, you miss the camaraderie, you miss the food. But you know, I've put 35 years in a firehouse. I spent only like 16 years in the field. The rest was all in admin. Of course, you know, you go up to admin for 6 months, and they test you out if you got the administrative capabilities to get promoted to battalion chief. I ended up staying there almost 3 years as an intern, because I had that knack, you know. All the things I learned in college finally got used. I was a business manager, a business management degree. And all the things just came back, and I guess I did well, and that was it. Staying in administration the rest of the time. But I wanted to go in admin, not prevention, not those other places, yeah. Because admin, I felt that's where all the action was. And I mean action. It's more action in firefighting. You know, you got fires going on all day long, whereas in the field, yeah, once in a while you get something real interesting, you know, so that's how I enjoyed it more. Nobody wants to go to an 8-hour day job. And especially in those days, you got nothing extra. You lost money going into the bureaus. Today, we were able to get, you know, bureau pay and all that. In those days, there's none of that. So you took the hit, right? So it's hard getting people into prevention bureau and all the bureaus because of the pay. But I was in Kahuku for 8 years as an engineer. and I had to get out of there. I mean, I was just vegetating out there. Nothing wrong with Akuka, but it's just slow, and you get no motivation to get promoted. So I took the captain's exam, studied real hard, scored good on that, and got promoted to Kameki as a captain. And after 2 years, I said, okay, I want something else. And then the program came up, and I put in for the program, got accepted, and the rest is, I stayed, and I enjoy it. Like I said, it's like fighting fires all day long. It gets kind of hectic, but it's, you gotta have a knack for it, right? Some people just, no matter what, because we used to have interns come up, and 1 week they go back, they want to go back. Yeah, I cannot take this or that. It's a tough, not a tough assignment, but it's just a change of lifestyle. 10 days off, you get 20 days to go to the beach. Put the uniform on 10 days. Now you put it on 20, and you get almost 24 hours a day sometimes. So it gets pretty hectic. 9/11, I was the chief during 9/11. Very challenging. It's the mayor called me up. What was it, 3:30 in the morning? Everybody come in. It was it's a sad day in history, right? It's a sad day in history, yeah. And from that, the department kind of changed. We were getting riot training. We were getting all this federal government. We were getting a lot of working relations. As the fire chief, you can't do everything by yourself. You got to work with everybody. And that 9/11 really brought police, fire, EMS, federal firefighters, everybody together on a good working relationships. And then after that, there was some kind of riot training we went through because of some kind of conference that was coming to town. So everybody gelled together, and I think that's still going on today, and that's very good because you can't run a major fire department like ours and expect only you do everything. You got to depend on everybody else, and they have to depend on us too. Only real fire that not concerned me, that was scared. I mean, was one of the first high-rise fires in Honolulu. We were on like the 24th, 25th floor. Everything you walked up, carried all your equipment, and everything was roaring, blowing out the door. You couldn't even get up the stairwell to fight the fire, and that was spooky. And we had, the first group went in, they took the elevator, and the guys got, 2-3 guys got burned pretty bad. The elevator opened on the floor, right? And so after that, we all were told everybody got to walk up, but it was just a scary time, and we didn't have many. It's one of the earlier high-rise fires. We had 3-story buildings, but not a high-rise fire. Yeah, but we all did a good job. Everybody sucked it up, and we did our job. And, too bad we got a couple of people hurt, but yeah, that was spooky times. I tried my best to, in fact, I was, I'm good aloha for the fire department, good aloha for the job we do. Our department is the oldest fire department west of the Rockies, right? Established 1851. We have a lot of history. And it's something I wanted to do was to make sure everybody understood the history of the fire department. And we did that too, like the 150th anniversary. That was one of the things that, when we were deciding what we were going to do in the department, it said, oh, well, what's coming up? And the 150th anniversary, well, let's make a big deal out of it. And we were able to celebrate the legacy of Kamehameha III that started the fire department. And all the different events, we created the quilt, we created the honor guard, we created, what else we created? The flag. There's so much things we did. So many people contributed to it. Remember now, I was the first fire chief under the commission. And the reason the commission came about was we had a dark period in the fire department. We had firefighters talking nasty about the department on the air, in writing, on TV, in the council hearings, so there was a lot of bad blood. Okay, we needed to fix that because we're a tight-knit organization. We know everybody, we know each other, we all work together. That whatever happened there, I couldn't understand it myself. Brother against brother, that's a rare thing in the fire department. So it was when I became the chief, how are we going to deal with this? How are we going to get everybody back on board? Of course, with the fire commission, right? Okay. So that was one of the main things that I wanted to get across to everybody. Okay, and how are we going to do that? Well, we did it in a number of ways. One, we were able to include everybody in the planning of the department. So in the past, the fire chief ruled was a dictator. Whatever he said went. There was no discussion. Whatever he wanted happened. Well, when I took over, one of my first goals was, okay, I got all our chief officers together, and we planned together. We're gonna, okay, what's our agenda for our first 3 months, our first year, and our 5 years? We all sat down, we developed that. And everybody threw the ideas out, we put it on the board, went through it, picked the 3 or 4 items we really wanted, and we set out our goals. And that set the direction, and I think everybody was happy to have that buy-in, because instead of somebody telling you what you're gonna have, hey, we all created it together. And I think that's the kind of things that I wanna be known for, and taking us to a new level with and out of that meeting we had, accreditation came up, firefighter certification. You see, accreditation tells you if you have a first-class fire department or not. Everybody said, oh yeah, we're the best, we're the best. Well, are we? So accreditation was a tough one. You know, there's 32,000 fire departments, and we were only the 34th to be accredited. That's a big deal. Then after that, well, how's our firefighters? Do they meet the muster? Are they the best firefighters? Well, we got firefighter certification that says now our firefighters are up to national standards. So those are kind of things I want people to realize. We updated all the trucks, the fire stations. So we did a lot to upgrade the level of the firefighters and our facilities and everything. So that's what I like to be known for.
Awesome.
And of course, having a good sense of humor. Union, no matter what, has to work with the chiefs, okay, and vice versa. You can't have one without the other, and you have no choice. The union is there, and our administration is there. You can't get things done if everything you do is controversial. And what happens is now you have firefighters picking between the administration this, or is it the union, and now you get people taking sides. They should be together, and the administration and the union. We always work closely with the union. Of course, you're going to disagree, and when you disagree there, you have grievance procedures just like the firefighters. And that's how you let those things work out. You just don't stop talking, or you just constantly badgering each other. I think that's not too good. And it doesn't show professionalism on both sides. So somebody needs to get together and bury the hatchet, and let's move on for the betterment of both organizations and for the betterment of the citizens. Imagine how we look in the paper where we get this bad thing going back and forth, and people are like, what's up with these guys? They can't get their own act together. And that's not the kind of publicity you want. You want people to show that, hey, you're a sharp fire department, we get along with everybody, we do our job, we take care of everybody. That's what you want. What I would tell a new recruit is, you know, the Honolulu Fire Department has a lot of opportunities. Take advantage of them all. We have educational opportunities, we have training opportunities, we have opportunities for them to get involved in a lot of things. And I'm not only talking firefighters, because a lot of their action is in the bureaus. And if you want to move up into the ranks, bureau assignments are very important because they kind of fill you out. You know, not everything is firefighting. You know, we like to believe it, that's it, but there's more to the fire department. And inspectors and PR people, all of that is all part of what we do. And it's an important part. So I would tell those guys, the new firefighters, hey, keep it open. I know it's all right. Okay, I can go to the beach every day and all that. Yeah, but keep in mind that for your future, this is the kind of thing that builds you up and makes you more credible as when you start moving up through the ranks. So I think that's an important one. For a new captain, I would tell a new captain, hey, take your job seriously. You have the lives of people depending on the decisions you're going to be making. 2, don't cruise. You know, guys, oh, I'm the captain, I can do what I like. No, you cannot. You got requirements, you got responsibilities. You got to drill, because when there's a time when there's a fire, that's not the right time to go try to figure out, oh, how come he doesn't know his job, or how come he didn't do what he's supposed to do. That shows that you're not doing your job. So to me, that's the key one for the captains, right? You gotta do your job, and you're not you one of the boys, but you're not one of the boys. Okay, you gotta toe the line as a executive officer. I give you something that Chief Frank Kaho'ohanohano told me. I was an intern up at administration, and I was in his office talking about something, and I said, Chief, by the way, how is it being fire chief? You can, you know, when you became fire chief, you can do what you want. And he looked at me, he kind of chuckled. He says, well, for one thing, you can't do what you want. He says, as a fire chief, you are responsible for everybody else's rules and regulations. You got to follow the Hawaii revised statutes. You got to follow the city-county rules, union. You got city rules. You got just so much different things you got to follow. And if you're lucky, you might have the opportunity to do a few things you want to do. So I think that's very important for them to know that, hey, you can't do what you want. There's a lot of things you got to do first before you can do what you want. And I think the other thing I would tell a new fire chief is don't get too aggressive. Pace yourself. You got to pace yourself. I mean, anybody want to do everything in the first week? You can. It's a long-range planning. That's the beauty of being with the Fire Commission. You know, you got unlimited run if you want. Just old age won't catch up to you sooner or later. But that's what I would tell a new fire chief. It's important that you understand that there's other things involved, and you have to be able to get out there and put yourself out there, because like I said, you have to work with all these different organizations. Most of them don't know you, so you got to get your name out there and start doing things to support your department. We've accomplished a lot in the fire department, I think, and I'm talking about my term, of course, it's talking about. And we also did not only work, we did a lot of fun things. And the 150th anniversary, I go back to that because that was one of the fun things. And the other one is part of that was the legacy of the king and our Hawaiian heritage in the fire department. I tried to make that, like Pearl Harbor is a perfect example. And us, got this museum because of all of that. Now my mind is shifting now because I wanted to bring up about the headquarters. That was a major, when I went up to in admin, I was the captain working on. Chief K gave me a project. He says, okay, Leo, I want you to take this map of Honolulu and find out where we need new stations. And it was a major job. And because what he wanted to do is when people go in to develop parcels of land, we want to be able to gaji or take property, 1-acre lots to build fire stations. So that was a major one. But part of that was training center, and the other part was this headquarters, the new headquarters. And the new headquarters was only going to be small. It wasn't going to be big like what we have today. And the museum was zero. Okay, but we were able to kind of put that all together. I went in as the captain, and that project that Chief K gave us to work on was develop a new headquarters. That was one of the things. And my whole time in admin, I spent trying to develop the headquarters. Finally, at the tail end, I was able to get the funding from from Mayor Harris. Started us, and then Mayor Murphy gave us the rest of the money. But that was a major accomplishment for us. That was one. The other major accomplishment for us was the training center. I tell you a story about the training center. We tried years and years trying to get the training center property for us. It belongs to the Navy. And the Navy constantly says, sorry, we can't give you dollar and love. You know, you have to buy it at market value. Well, good luck. And we rent from the Navy. We pay the water bill, we do other things. But we also protect the Navy too. And we could never get the property, and they were going to kick us out because we weren't going to pay. They were going to charge us huge rent. So we were started to look for places to build the new training center. And finally, we had wit's end, the tail end of everything before we have to probably get out of the training center. We met with Senator Inouye's staff, and we got him to jump on board with us. So the story is this. He sets up a meeting, and in his office up in the federal building over here, his office has a huge walk-in safe, huge. And that's where he holds all his meetings, because he turned that into an office, right? And so we went into the meeting, and there's the admirals and us and some city guy, and Senator Inouye doesn't come in yet, so we kind of talking about it. And then he comes in, the meeting starts, and Senator Inouye comes in, says, all right, we're talking about the training center. Yes. He puts his hand on the shoulder of the admiral. He said, now, Admiral, you're not going to kick these guys out, are you? And the admiral looked at him and says, no, sir, Senator, thank you. He said, well, thank you very much. And he walks out, settle it, take care of it then. And he walks out. That's how we got the training center. All that years of hard work and couldn't get nowhere. This guy walks in a couple of minutes, he gets it done like that. And the thing went through, dollar and love. That's how it worked. So it was interesting how that happened. But okay, get back. But so to me, the legacy of HFD is Pearl Harbor, is all the things we did, the old style fire department, the Kings and all that. And I want to foster that with our guys. You got to, to me, that's one of the real highlights of the department itself. And I don't know, that's the kind of things I like to do. It's being the fun things that we did. We used to have water park days. We used to have retiree appreciation day. We bring all our retirees back. That's all gone already. All of these different things that I know it takes work. It takes work, but you gotta have the guys who want to do it. And when you guys want to do it, it all works out. Before when you retired and you left, you got a thank you barely, and you turn in your clothes and that's it. You walk away. You got nothing. We developed a plaque. We give them back their badge. All this fun things, and you'd be surprised how many retirees come back to me. Hey, Chief, thank you, man. You make us feel part of it again. Even the retirees luau we used to have. I see a lot of these good things that different chiefs started, including me, that kind of disappears, when it moves on. But yeah, that's life. The department goes on. It'll flourish for another 150 years, no problem. But a lot of things we did that stayed, the quilt, the flag, all of that stuff, the annuals, the shirt, all that. They got new shirts now, all of that stuff. So a lot of good memories for me. Can't complain. Been a good career, 35 years. Can't complain.